That's when I start saying crazy stuff because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. Your big
Okay.
homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We were talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
The internet is saying JayZ is finished, that he's been exposed in the Epstein files, that there's footage, that he fled the country, that it's all over for Hove. But here's the thing. Most of what's being spread online, it's not what the documents actually say. And the real story is actually more interesting. Because what's in these files raises questions that nobody is asking. Stick with me because we're going in document by document. First, let's establish what just dropped, because a lot of people are confused about this. In November 2025, Congress passed something called the Epstein Files Transparency Act, bipartisan, signed by Trump. It forced the Department of Justice to release everything in the FBI's database connected to the Epstein investigation. And when they say everything, they mean it. We're talking over 3 million pages of documents, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. Now here's the critical thing that most people spreading these clips online are not telling you. The DOJ released a statement alongside these files warning, and I'm quoting directly here, that the files include information that could be fake or falsely submitted, because the Transparency Act required them to dump everything, including raw, unverified tips from the public. This is not one document. This is 30 years of tip lines, court filings, FBI intake forms, email chains, flight logs, scheduling records, all mixed together. And not all of it carries the same weight. A verified court document is not the same as a random person calling an FBI hotline. That distinction matters a lot when we get to JayZ's name. So here's what's real. In January 2026, when this latest batch dropped, reporters going through the documents found something called an FBI crisis intake form. Basically, a record of a call made to the FBI's National Threat Operations Center in 2019, right when Epstein got arrested and the tip lines exploded. An anonymous caller claimed she had been a victim of trafficking. She said she was drugged on multiple occasions over the years, and she alleged that at one point, she woke up in a room in Florida in 1996 and two men were present, Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter. That's JayZ's real name. That's it. That's what's in the document. One anonymous tip from a public hotline, filed in 2019, about an alleged incident in 1996. Now here's what is not in the files. JayZ's name does not appear in Epstein's personal flight logs. It does not appear in his scheduling records. It is not in his contact book. It is not in emails to or from Epstein. It is not in verified court documents or sworn testimonies related to Epstein's actual network. None of that. The same release also included a separate tip naming Pusha T as an alleged handler in a completely different 2007 incident, also from an anonymous caller, also unverified, also not corroborated anywhere in Epstein's personal records. Now, and this is where I want to be real with you, does unverified mean it didn't happen? No, absolutely not. A lot of real crimes go unreported, and when they are reported, the system doesn't always follow up. That's the whole problem with how powerful men have operated for decades. But there's a massive difference between an anonymous person called an FBI tip line and JayZ has been exposed in the Epstein files. The internet took the first thing and turned it into the second. And that's worth calling out. Not to defend JayZ, but because this is how misinformation spreads and how real victims actually get hurt. When everything is labeled exposed and confirmed, the serious verified stuff gets drowned out. Here's what is confirmed and serious in these files. Harvey Weinstein, who is already convicted and in prison, shows up in multiple credible documents across the Epstein files in different contexts, which raises real questions about the overlap between his world and Epstein's network. Leon Black, the billionaire private equity mogul, literally wrote a poem in a book for Epstein's 50th birthday, signed it, "Love and Kisses, Leon." And we know from documents he had a deep personal friendship with Epstein going back to the 90s. Prince Andrew settled a lawsuit with Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre for an undisclosed amount. Those are the verified, documented connections. So why is the internet going so hard on JayZ specifically? Part of it is timing. The Diddy situation is still fresh. He's currently locked up facing federal trafficking charges. And people are asking, who else in hip-hop and entertainment was operating like that? That's a fair question. But what's happening is people are connecting dots that aren't in the documents. The viral posts showing JayZ with Aaliyah bringing up the Foxy Brown rumors, the Beyoncé age conspiracy theories, none of that is from the Epstein files. That's a completely different conversation that people are stitching together to make the case look stronger than it is. 50 Cent posted about it, said he wants to do a documentary. And look, 50 has a history of this. He executive produced the Diddy documentary on Netflix. He knows how to ride a wave. But riding a wave and having receipts are two different things. JayZ has not been charged. He has not been formally investigated based on anything in these files. His team has not issued a statement, which people are reading as suspicious. But legally speaking, his lawyers would absolutely tell him to say nothing while there's any public attention on his name near a federal investigation, even an indirect one. Here's what actually matters going forward. The DOJ in July 2025 said there is no client list and no evidence of blackmail. But then more documents dropped in December and January that people are still going through. There are reportedly at least 20 names the FBI has connected to actual sex crimes that haven't all been made public yet. The Epstein Files Transparency Act also had major redaction failures. Researchers found that blacked-out text in some documents could literally be copy-pasted and revealed. So there's still information being uncovered. The verified, documented connections, Leon Black, Prince Andrew, politicians, executives. Those are the stories that should be getting more attention, because those names are in Epstein's personal records. His flight logs, his emails, his scheduling documents. Not in tip lines. That's the story. Not JayZ exposed. The story is how many powerful men with documented, verified connections to Epstein have faced zero consequences, while the tip line names get all the viral attention. Look, I'm not here to clear JayZ's name or burn him down. I'm here to tell you what the documents actually say. Because if we want these people held accountable, we need to be accurate. Spreading unverified tips as confirmed facts doesn't expose powerful people. It just creates noise that lets them hide. The Epstein files are real. The crimes were real. The victims deserve better than viral misinformation. So stay locked in, because as researchers keep going through 3 million pages, more verified information is going to come out. And when it does, I'll break it down for you the right way. Hit that like button if you want more fact-based breakdowns. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop in the comments, what names from the verified documents do you want me to cover next? Peace.